Oh, we're like 2 days into summer and I'm already way too pink. Kim here to A your cues. That sounds not at all like what this video actually is. This is a Q&A video. Let's get to the cues so I can A them. Really quickly before we get to the cues, if you are not subscribed to this YouTube channel, feel free to do so. I make videos every Tuesday about my life as an entertainer. Sometimes being an actor slash comedian slash writer is entertaining in itself. And clickety click the bell notification. And don't forget to clickety click that bell icon because YouTube, on to your cues. Favorite book and TV show at the moment. Favorite book at the moment. For book, I'm gonna have to go with Lord of the Rings. That has been a long-standing favorite of mine, just the series as a whole, but it's kind of fresh in my mind because I'm going to be rereading The Two Towers next month, which is really great for me. It's going to be very refreshing and very centering, and it will realign all of my intellectual and creative thoughts, I'm sure. That sounded way fancier than it should have. For TV shows, I'm gonna have to go with Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. The show where Jerry Seinfeld picks up a fellow comedian person and they drive around in a car and then go and get coffee and just like have a conversation. It's so fascinating to me to hear perspectives of what comedy is about from successful comedians. It's very enlightening and entertaining, which is one of the things I strive to be. So I'm learning a lot from the show, but I'm also very entertained by it. And it has really cool cars, so husband watches it with me, which is just unheard of for a TV show. We have very different interests. It's part of what keeps our relationship spicy. Future plans, ... question mark. In the very immediate future, I have some travels coming up. Oh, so excited. In terms of more stretched out future, longer in the distance future, further away future, I got another open mic night I want to do. I've been working on some new comedy material for that. I am bringing back my bookish podcast in July, and I am writing a brand new book, which I talked about in my last video here. It's my number 2 priority next to the Princess Agenda, which is my other YouTube channel, which is my like princess perspectives on society and different things channel. In terms of just future plans, it is keep doing what I'm doing and get as much stage time as possible while writing a book. Do you plan on doing more documentary style series? Yes. Well, yes. Okay, I wouldn't say I have plans to do more. I have ideas of documentary style videos I want to make. I am continuing on with Being Impossible, the documentary of me being an entertainer that's more documentary style than these types of videos. Keep going with that. I also have a lot of footage of my dog who passed away in December. I wanted to do like a David Attenborough like animal documentary series on her around my backyard in this kind of funny way. I shot all this footage and then the idea just never came to fruition. Then very tragically, the dog died. So I kind of feel like I need to make that for me, and then of course I will share it here with you guys. I also have an idea to do a documentary David Attenborough style, which is funny, but also a documentary on my niece and just like follow Ruthie around, which I think would be really funny. I also have an idea to document social experiments, kind of like the free hug video I did with Emery from Emery Lane and Doors in Time. You can see it right here. But just like these sort of like approaching people on the street kind of things to see how actual people react to certain things and their perspectives and opinions on certain things in a non-newsy kind of way. Aw, Newsies! That's a great movie and musical. But I digress. Would you ever move out of Utah? Very quickly, for those of you who don't know, I am a native of Salt Lake City, Utah. I really like it here, but first of all, I already have lived outside of Utah. I was born in California, so I lived there very briefly. I lived in Orlando, Florida for almost 2 years while I worked for Disney World, which was an experience. And I've also lived in a very small rural farm town in Idaho, surrounded by fields of potatoes and sugar beets. I have explored some different places. There are things I've loved about each of those places, and there are things that I love about here. But husband and I feel like we don't really have super set roots here, if that makes sense. We're here and we like it here and we have no immediate plans to go anywhere, but we are 100% open to the idea of fleeing. We're adventurous in that aspect. What's your dream place to do a stand-up comedy show? Wow, such a loaded question. Right off the top of my head, I would have to say Radio City Music Hall. Hello, it's the home of the Rockettes. I'm very good at being in a kick line, so I feel like I would just fit in there. Not actually with the Rockettes, just doing my own stand-up comedy show, but I feel like in terms of just energy and belonging in a place, I could make that work. Really, truly, honestly, my like number one definition of success, meaning I've made it, meaning like this is it, meaning that I am successful and I have done well and I am totally legit. The day I'm invited by Jerry Seinfeld to be on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee is it. That means I've made it. And that's not exactly a, you know, stand-up comedy show, but that is a dream. It's a dream. 'Tis the dream. Yeah. How did you get to be so awesome? I'll tell you how I got to be so awesome. Okay, look, here's the thing. I don't particularly like to just pat myself on the back for being awesome, but I do like to give myself credit for being a functioning sort of human person who is going after the life that she wants and the career that she wants, who works very hard in her marriage to have a successful relationship with her husband, whom she loves dearly, all while just, you know, trying to be a person that puts good into the world. I have been through things that taught me a lot, and it has led me to live my life in a certain way. I just really try to avoid unnecessary drama and put things in the world that are going to make it a better world. Say funny things that aren't taking from anyone, that are just adding to positivity and goodness, and that sounds like a total like hippie. Also coming to terms with what you should be doing and realizing that the word should is pretty toxic. Erase it from your life. You'll be better off without the word should, I promise. When I finally learned to give up convention and what I should be doing and do the things and take the actions that are right for me, that was when I learned what it was like to live your life. Here I am doing it, and geez, this answer's gotten away from me. I'm just gonna leave it at I avoid unnecessary drama. I don't try to do what I should do. I try to do what feels right for me, and I just try to put good things into the world and the universe. And if that makes me awesome, then super yay. Oh man. Okay, here we go. So 10 more questions that I'm gonna answer, and we are just gonna kind of rapid fire this because this has gone on. Here we go. Who's your favorite superhero? The Boy Wonder / Robin from the Batman series. At the grocery store, paper or plastic? When I forget my own reusable grocery bags, it is plastic, just because they have a handle and I like to really pack as many as I can in there so I don't have to use as many bags, and so I need the handle. The paper ones fall, but I do take them back to my grocery store for recycling like a good human. If you could take one book to a deserted island, what would it be? That is rude. A really good one that's also really long. If you could have one superpower, what would it be? The ability to fly. Which Peanuts character do you most identify with? Probably Linus. There's something about the blanket and the way he's just so not ashamed of it, and the way that he's like, yeah, I carry this thing around and it makes me feel better about my life and it helps me be a more functional person, and there's not really anything wrong with that, so I don't really care. Blanket, I love it. It's like, look, I'm a little bit kooky, but it works for me, so we're going with it. Favorite musical? Jeez, Chicago, Beauty and the Beast, Rent, Secret Garden, Phantom of the Opera. What is your most recurring nightmare? I am chewing gum and I decide that I want to no longer be chewing gum, and so I go to take it out of my mouth, and instead of it coming out of my mouth, it just keeps stretching and stretching as I'm pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, and I can like feel it in the back of my throat, and I'm just like a really bad magic act, never ending, just gum. It's awful, I hate it. Sonic the Hedgehog or Mario? It's a me, Mario, come on. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no? Yes, 100% yes. All the pineapple on the pizza, fight me. What TV show most represents your life? A little bit Parks and Rec, and a little bit Sex and the City, and a little bit Alf. Also, when I'm doing government things, I feel like sometimes it's a little more House of Cards than I would like it to be. Remember the days when government work was a lot more The West Wing and a lot less House of Cards? That was a good time. And that's gonna do it for this Q&A. Thank you so much for asking your questions. I absolutely loved it. If I missed your question, I am so sorry. I feel like I found them all, but I also feel like I did not find them all. So sorry if I missed your question. If I did, please leave me a comment below and I will answer it the next time I do a Q&A or in a video, or I will find you and just write you a personal essay and send it to you. Consider subscribing to this YouTube channel if you haven't already. I make videos every Tuesday about the life of an entertainer. It's like this, but also sometimes not like this. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, you're cool beans.